narcissistic mothers, didn't eat things for days and they saved the money for your schooling. The stories are very dramatic and, exaggerated. Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to eat, but, covert narcissistic mothers are going to come up with a story where she's the saint, she's the savior. She did not eat for 10 days just to, uh, collect funds for your school fees. Yeah, so that's how absurd things will be if you are raised by covert narcissistic mother. And hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about 10 surprising ways covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So covert narcissistic mothers always play victim. They are expert in playing victim. If they are wrong or if they have hurt you, then they are going to project you as the perpetrator and the abuser, and they are going to present themselves as the helpless victim. Yeah, so covert narcissistic mothers are expert in playing victim, and they do this by turning things around. They might be the one who's abusing you, exploiting you, but when you call them out, when they fear being exposed, they wear this robe of being the innocent victim. Yeah, and that's how they present themselves. Then they summon their flying monkeys, their enablers, and that's it. In no time they will project you as the abuser, oppressor, the perpetrator, and themselves as the innocent victim, yeah, who's suffering because of you. So you can never really get them to accept the abuse that they do with you. They are never going to accept. They are never going to give you closure. Instead, if they fear that you are exposing them, if they fear that they are losing you, they are going to do a number on you. They are going to run smear campaign against you. They are going to call their flying monkeys. They are going to guilt trip you, shame you. They are going to project themselves as the helpless victim, and that's how they you can say change the entire narrative. They change the entire direction, yeah, of the conversation. So there is no point in calling out their bad behavior. Just look out for the signs and just leave them. Yeah, because they are never going to change. They also have this extreme sense of entitlement. Covert narcissistic mothers also have extreme sense of entitlement. They lack empathy. They have inability to self-reflect. They want all that attention and admiration. And it's just that they operate under the guise of being a victim. The grandiose ones operate differently. They are a little loud, they are a little flamboyant, they are a little arrogant and haughty. But these covert ones, they are very hidden, and they are always the victim in their story. Yeah, they are never the villain. They are either the victim, the martyr, or the hero. They are never the victim. The victim is you if you call out their bad behavior. The victim is the others. The victim is the husband. The victim is the daughter. You will become the abuser if you call out their bad behavior. If others are trying to expose them, others will be the abuser, perpetrator. Yeah. So covert narcissistic mothers are expert in playing victim, and that's how they survive. That's how they get what they want. Yeah. They really want to be hidden and concealed. They present themselves as someone who's hurt, badly wounded, someone who's needy, someone who's very vulnerable, scared of this bad world. These are the red flags to look out for. If your mother is the victim in all of the history and story, it's not a good sign. Yeah, I mean, she quite possibly uh, must be manipulating you, or she must be misconstruing things. Yeah, so they are going to be the one who's needy, who has suffered a lot, the world has wronged them, and that's how things are. So if someone is victim in his or her story, they are covert narcissists. Now, we are talking about covert narcissistic mothers. Covert narcissistic mothers, stayed in the relationship for the sake of you. Covert narcissistic mothers suffered because of your grandmother and your father, but still she stayed in the relationship because of you. Covert narcissistic mothers, you know, uh, didn't eat things for days and they saved the money for your schooling. The stories are very dramatic and exaggerated. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to eat, but covert narcissistic mothers are going to come up with a story where she's the saint, she's the savior, she did not eat for 10 days just to uh, collect funds for your school fees. Yeah, so that's how absurd things will be if you are raised by covert narcissistic mother. And in a way you feel sorry for her, and you feel like doing more for her. Yeah, and these covert narcissistic mothers, they end up having a gala time. Yeah, they get to harvest the best supply possible. Yeah, they get to harvest the best supply from their own children. Yeah, and do these narcissistic mothers care? Covert narcissistic mothers, no. They will forever be victims. Yeah, even if you do things for them, they will forever appear to be someone whose suffering never really ends. Yeah, that's how wicked these covert narcissistic individuals, I mean in this case covert narcissistic mothers, are. They will forever be victim. If you will do something big for her, then she's going to push the goalpost, and then she's going to say, I know you have done this for me, yeah, but I'm really suffering. You have got no idea, what her daughter has done. She went ahead and did this also for her. Yeah, I'm not asking you to do the same thing, but I'm just telling you, what she does. She really loves her mother. So this is how covert narcissistic mothers operate. This is how they manipulate their children. Yeah. So now coming to the 10 surprising ways covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children. The first is inconsistent parenting. So they might alternate between being overly nurturing and coldly distant. Yeah, so it's never going to be even and stable and same. Yeah, it's going to keep changing. Sometimes she'll be overly nurturing, sometimes she's going to be coldly distant. Yeah, and this creates an unpredictable environment that confuses the child and keeps them constantly seeking their mother's approval, validation. The kid is constantly monitoring his or her mother's emotion and feeling, and the way how she's reacting and behaving. Yeah, because it's never predictable. One moment she's nurturing and caring, and the other moment she's throwing silent treatment at you. And all of this is basically to control you and manipulate you. Yeah, that's how she gets you on hook. That's how she gets a firm grip onto you, and that's how she gets to pull the strings and control you. Yeah, however she wishes and pleases. The other way covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children is with social comparison. So covert narcissistic mothers may constantly compare their children to the others. Look at her son, look at his daughter, they are doing so much. The parents did not give them the way how we are giving things to you and doing things for you, but still look at their children. I'm sure the parents must be so proud. That's how they will stage things. Yeah, and they will indirectly suggest the child that you also need to do this. Yeah, they will indirectly tell their children that you are less talented. Their child is so talented, their child is so good, so obedient. Yeah, they're never going to tell you directly. And that's what makes them very dangerous. Covert narcissistic mothers are very dangerous. They are not going to tell you directly, they are going to indirectly tell you. Yeah, and you start doubting your own self. You start feeling as if you are mean, you are selfish, you are bad. Yeah, and you start doing more and more and more. You start getting into the things which you don't like, which you're not good at. Yeah, only to please your covert narcissistic mother. Yeah, so this covert narcissistic mother is expert in instilling this feeling of inadequacy in their child, and this is basically to control the child, yeah, so that she can, easily abuse and exploit the child and get whatever she wants out of the child. Yeah, so social comparison is, one of the ways, with the help of which covert narcissistic mothers exploit, and abuse their children. The other way covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children is by, feigning indifferences. Yeah, so they might act indifferent or uninterested in their child's achievement or problems, only to suddenly show interest when it suits their needs or when others are watching, enforcing the child's insecurity. Yeah, so they might, not be interested at all in your achievement or in your success or in your problems, but when others are watching, all of a sudden they might get interested. What happened? Tell me, I'm going to, help you out. Let me know, I'm going to, do this for you, I'm going to do that for you, because others are seeing, and she wants to be seen as a angel. She wants to be seen as an amazing mother. She wants to be seen as Mother Teresa. She wants to be seen as, a holy woman, a sacred, mother. Yeah, that's only, one of a kind in this entire universe. So she's going to just be uninterested in your shortcomings, in your achievement. But when others are seeing, when others are there, then she's going to, act as if she's very concerned about you. She's very interested, to know more about you. She's, very interested and dedicated and devoted, for your well-being, for your betterment. Yes, and all of it is basically to present herself as a good mother. All of it is basically to bag in some compliments, admiration, good words. That's it. Yeah. And what this does is that, this in a way reinforces the child's insecurity. Yeah, so the child doesn't feel secure. Yeah, because the child knows that if I am surrounded by 10 people, my mother might, behave totally different, yeah, than what she does when, I am alone with her. Yeah, so, the child grows up with insecurity. Yeah, the child knows, what if, my uncle is there, she's going to, behave differently. Yeah, in front of me she's behaving different. Yeah, but in front of my uncle she's going to behave differently. Yeah, the child is scared also. Yeah, because he or she, knows that, covert narcissistic mothers are expert in playing victim. Yeah, so, she might, project me as the bad one, and she might, start playing victim. Yeah, so kids are scared. Kids are scared, in front of the others. Kids are scared when they are with their covert narcissistic mothers and when others are around. Yeah, because she is going to do anything and everything to project herself as the, bestest mother on this planet. Yeah, and the kids know. Yeah, sometimes the mother might, start praising the child, or sometimes, the mother might, start, insulting or criticizing the child as well. The child knows. So the child, grows up with a lot of insecurity. The child is scared to be, around others with his mother, covert narcissistic mother, because he or she doesn't really know how she's going to react. She might be praising, and the other moment she might, start criticizing me and start, projecting me as the bad one, as the bad guy, as the bad daughter. The other surprising way covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children is by manipulating special occasions. So covert narcissistic mothers might overshadow the child's milestones or achievements by turning the focus back on themselves, or by making the event, about their own needs or insecurities. Yeah, so if you have achieved something, if you have done good, she's going to shift, the entire focus onto herself. Yeah, she's going to say, you are where you are because of my sacrifice, because I suffered and endured all of the things, and only because of that you are where you are. Yeah, so she's going to credit hog, she's going to give backhanded compliments, and, she's going to, project herself as, the one who has sacrificed anything and everything, and only because of her sacrifice, only because of her suffering, only because of her doing, you are where you are. Yeah, so they are going to credit hog, they are going to steal the limelight, they are not going to validate you, they are not going to let others, validate you or laud you for your achievement and success. No. And also, these covert narcissistic mothers, they are expert in, making, every event, all about, her own needs and, her insecurities and suffering. They want a stage where they can play the role of a victim. Yeah. So if she is credit hogging, in that process also she's playing victim. Yeah, so that she can, harvest something from the others as well, maybe compliment, maybe, admiration, yeah, maybe financial support. I mean, she just wants to use anyone and everyone by playing victim. Yeah, that's, pretty much who these covert narcissistic mothers are. They are into using anyone and everyone, and she will have, just one kind of a conversation starter, that is her suffering, her, pain and her challenges, and that's it. Yeah, she's not going to talk about, how, others have helped her, how others have, done things for her. No, she's going to start the conversation with her suffering, the challenges that she has faced, the things that she has gone through, how evil people are and how they have mistreated her. So everything, goes back to her. If it's a birthday party, if it's your birthday party, she's going to some way or the other turn the entire, conversation onto her, and not going to, let the attention or let, any kind of, thing onto you. She's going to make everything, related to her. Yeah, you have got no idea what I went through to organize this birthday party. Yeah, she's not going to celebrate and let you enjoy and let you be the star of the event. No. Yeah, so, that's how sick these covert narcissistic mothers are. Yeah, they are forever victim, they are forever suffering, and that's how they keep trapping, new, victims. They keep manipulating you, I mean their children, and they keep, you can say they keep, selecting, and they keep trapping new sources of supply also. Yeah, so, these covert narcissistic mothers are all about supply. Yeah, and they do this by playing victim. The other surprising way covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children is with excessive worrying. So covert narcissistic mothers may excessively worry about, trivial matters, creating a heightened sense of anxiety for their children. Yeah, and this can, make the child feel responsible for alleviating, the mother's fear, pain, and suffering. So, they are going to, you know, stage as if, they are just mad about you. They are concerned about, anything and everything related to you. Yeah, so these covert narcissistic mothers are, big time into, using this, excessive worrying, and this is basically to burden you. Yeah, this is basically to manipulate you into taking up the role of their rescuer. Yeah, so they are going to worry, how many times you went to the bathroom. They are going to worry, about your pencil not being sharpened. They are going to worry about your clothes not being pressed. They are going to worry about, you not drinking enough water. They are going to worry about, you not, styling your hair in a certain way. They are going to, micromanage, and they are going to, pretend as if they worry, about you a lot. And what this does is that, this, in a way, creates, this feeling inside of the child that, now I need to grow up quickly. Now I need to do something big and good, and I need to, alleviate her, from her pain and misery and her suffering. I need to end her pain and suffering, and I need to make her feel good. But the poor child doesn't really know that she's faking it. She's not really concerned about the child. All what she's concerned about, the way how the child, perceives her. Yeah, she's distorting. She's not being her authentic self. She's not being, the real her in front of the child, and that is basically to distort, the way how the child perceives, her. He perceives, his mother as, someone who's all the time anxious and worried about him. She worries about what food he eats. She worries about what drink he drinks. She worries about, what clothes he wears. She worries a lot about him. Yeah, so the child feels that I am her favorite child, and now I need to prove, myself. Now I need to grow up and quickly do anything and everything, to, alleviate her out of her suffering and pain and misery. Let me make her, experience good. Yeah, because she loves me. She worries a lot. But that's not love. That's worry and micromanaging. Yeah, but poor kids, perceive it as love. The other surprising way covert narcissistic mothers exploit and, abuse their children is by, guilt tripping through sacrifices. They might use the narrative of personal sacrifice and hardship, to guilt trip the child into compliance. Yeah, and making the child feel indebted and responsible, for the mother's emotional well-being. I sacrificed this for you. I sacrificed my job. I sacrificed this. I sacrificed my nights. I did not sleep, for 5 years, raising you and, nurturing you. You have got no idea what all I sacrificed. I sacrificed my self-respect. I sacrificed my mental health. I sacrificed my inner peace. I stayed in this relationship. Your auntie was so bad. Your grandmother was so bad. Your father was horrible. But I still stayed in this relationship. I sacrificed everything just for the sake of you. And so, all of it is basically to guilt trip the child and, making the child feel indebted, yeah, and responsible for the mother's, emotional well-being and everything. Yeah, and, the kids, grow up to be adult, and, have this, feeling that, I need to do more for her. Yeah, and all of it is the result of constant guilt tripping and gaslighting. That's it. All of it is, the result of rewriting history, constantly playing victim, and that's it. Yeah, the child grows up to be adult, who genuinely feels that he or she is indebted to his covert narcissistic mother. She suffered a lot. I am where I am because of her. Yeah, even though she never did anything for you, but the way how she presented things, you perceived it as, genuine love, affection, care, concern, sacrifice, and all of that. The other surprising way covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children is by creating false narratives. Yes, these covert narcissistic mothers might fabricate or distort family history or personal stories to paint themselves in a favorable light as a victim, as someone who's suffering. And this is basically to manipulate, how others perceive the family dynamics. This is basically to manipulate the child into believing that she's the one who's the hero, who's the victim, who's the martyr, and all of the rest are the bad ones. All of the others are evil ones. Yeah, the bad guys. She's the good guy. Yeah. So narcissistic mothers are into, creating false narratives, rewriting history, lying, things, lying about things, withholding information, and all of it is to distort the way how kid, perceives other family members, other individuals. Yeah, so that the kid sees the father as the enemy. My grandmother was a horrible woman. My father is a bad man. He doesn't love my mother. My mother is the one, who loves me so much, who loves me dearly. Yeah, and I have seen, with my clients, they are having this, awakening at the age of 67, at the age of 74. Yeah, I mean, like, they are, coming to me for a couple of years, and one fine day I get a call and then they tell me, Sarah, uh, I want to share something. And then they, tell me this realization that they had, and how they have come to a conclusion that they were raised by covert narcissistic mother. So yes, covert narcissistic mothers are expert in creating false narratives. The other surprising way covert narcissistic mothers abuse and exploit their children is by undermining independence. Yeah, so covert narcissistic mothers may subtly, sabotage their children's effort to become independent or self-sufficient. Yeah, reinforcing dependency and keeping the child under their control. Yeah, so if the child wants to do things independently, no, 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 you cannot do things right. You'll end up doing mistake and it's going to hurt you. Let me do it for you. Let me do it this way. You really don't know. I'm more experienced than you. Oh, come on, don't use your brain. Let me do it. For you. She's going to never encourage the child to become independent or become self-sufficient. She's going to keep, micromanaging the child, and this is basically to keep the child dependent on her. And then she will, get a free pass to abuse and exploit the child however she wishes. Yeah, because she's the mother who has suffered a lot, she's the martyr, she's the victim, and the child is ready to do anything for her. The child is ready to burn himself or herself out, to please his covert narcissistic mother. The other surprising way covert narcissistic mothers, exploit and abuse their children is by emotional withholding. So these covert narcissistic mothers may practice emotional withholding in a way that is difficult to pinpoint. They don't want, others to see what they are doing. Yeah, these covert narcissistic mothers are into withholding praise or affection during moments when the child is most vulnerable or in need of support. So if the child is feeling, vulnerable, if the child is feeling lonely, if the child is feeling, anxious, she might, not, give him that, emotional support. Yeah, she might, withhold that praise and affection. She might not, make him feel safe. Yeah, and she does this, so that, the child is, even more, in need for her emotional reassurance and support. Yeah, she withholds that. Yeah, and she's not there to, give him that, never ending emotional support and, reassurance. Yeah, she keeps withholding it, and she does this to starve the child. Yeah, so that the child becomes more desperate and is ready to do more. Yeah, the child is desperate for, her validation. The child is desperate for her love and affection. Yeah, nobody, deserves, such kind of a treatment. But do these covert narcissistic mothers care? The answer is no. Yeah, so they are very smart, and they will withhold praise, affection, emotional reassurance, support, care. She's going to, withhold all of it when the child needs, all of that, the most. Yeah, and this is her way of starving the child, so that the child, becomes anxious, desperate, and is ready to do anything. Yeah, the child complies, and the child, is forever dependent on her. Yeah, I mean, this is really bad. When someone needs, love, care, attention, support, you should provide that unconditionally. I mean, if it's your child, if it's your loved ones. But when people are, withholding love, affection, support, care, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's pure abuse. Yeah. And the last surprising way covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children is by, using their child's emotions for entertainment. They might derive amusement or satisfaction from provoking strong emotional reactions in the child, using these reactions to entertain themselves or to manipulate situation to their advantage. Yeah, they are going to, insinuate, they are going to trigger the child into reacting in a way, and then, they are going to feel good that yes, now he's reacting like a difficult child, like a mean child, like a selfish child. Now I get to do, the number on him. Are you seeing how he's behaving? Yeah, she's going to, bring in her enablers, her fans, her flying monkeys, and then she's going to orchestrate it in such a way. Whereas in, you look like the crazy one, where you look like the bad one, the difficult one, and them being the innocent one. So they will trigger you, they will provoke you to get a certain reaction, and they're going to, use it as a form of entertainment, and then, use it to further control you and manipulate you and project you as the difficult child. I told you, look at him, how he's behaving. I told you, look at her, how she's behaving. She's not ready to listen to me. I told you, she is never, thankful for anything that I do for her. So this is how, they do a number on you. They turn things around. So yes, these were, a couple of, surprising ways covert narcissistic mothers exploit and abuse their children. In case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.